Alrighty, Miss Deb, we just finished our session with Animal. I know you're kind of familiar with the COPD. He's had it for about 10 years, I think he said. But with the pneumonia, it is going to kind of exacerbate those symptoms. He's got a lot of mucus and stuff in there. So that means his lungs and everything is working overtime to get moving. So, some stuff you can do for him at home. We taught him how to use the walker. I would really want him to try to focus on that. Especially when you guys are in the community. I told him at home it'd be good to practice it, but especially if you guys go out like to the grocery store or you're taking your kids somewhere, just practicing him using that. We want to make sure that he's pushing off of the surface that he's sitting on when he stands up to the walker. So he can have one hand on the walker or one hand on the seat, but you want to make sure he's, got things stable because of the wheels. I don't want him to put all of his weight into that if it was to move. So just making sure that the brakes are on the walker and that he's, being safe with that. The good thing about the four-wheeled walker is that it does have a seat. So when you guys are in public, he's able to take those breaks. And I know he might not want to, but encouraging him to do a little bit, take a break, a little bit, take a break is going to be better for him to build that endurance. You don't want him to push himself too hard and then get back into where we were before. We also talked about his breathing, since he does breathe very like quickly and rapidly, and when he's like he's rounded, bent over. So we worked on trying to open up his chest, squeezing back here his shoulder blades together, doing some of those exercises and sitting up straight for his breathing. Are you familiar with diaphragmatic breathing? Okay, so if you go ahead and put one hand on your chest and one kind of on your lower stomach, when you breathe in, we want to get the air to those lower lobes in the lungs. So when you breathe in, you want this bottom hand to go out. So in through your nose.
No, stomach moving. You want?
And not through your mouth. So that's something we focused on with him because he does tend to use his accessory muscles. We want to focus on getting good deep breaths. That'll help slow his breath rate down because it was a little bit high as well. So we did that for his breathing. I told him if you guys have a doorway at home to help stretch those muscles, he can go ahead and put his arms up in between the doorway and kind of lean forward, and that'll help stretch those his chest out as well, and because they're going to be tight since he's so used to sitting like that. But really focusing on his posture and breathing while he's recovering these next weeks before he goes back to work will be really big. He mentioned he was given the spirometry at the hospital, but I don't think he used it that often. So making sure when he does it that he's breathing in like you're sucking a milkshake and keeping it at this happy face level and holding it for as long as he can. As soon as it goes out of that range, let him relax, let it go back down, and have him recover for a minute. If he does them too quickly, it's just going to make him short of breath again. His oxygen was pretty good throughout. It was at 93 when he first came in, and then after we walked, it did drop a little bit, but it recovered pretty quickly. So his number is never going to be at 100 because of his COPD. So just being aware that he is going to have that limitation, but he can start building that endurance to stop it from dropping as much. Is there any other questions you guys have at home? I would maybe recommend moving any carpets that might trip up the walker while he's still getting used to it and stuff. And then just being really big on encouraging him to move throughout. Like I told him every commercial break, getting up, going to the bathroom or going to the fridge, even if he doesn't need to go, just doing that short distance every time will keep him moving to help build that endurance up.
Sounds good. So using the spirometer, right?
Yep, he can have that sitting next to him if he's like, I don't know if he prefers to sit in bed. We would prefer to have him sitting up in the chair because we don't want him down as much because that's when everything gets congested. So having him sit up will be better. So encouraging him, even if he wants to not do as much sitting in the chair, doing his breathing, We also worked on just like kicking his legs out and holding it to help, because he just has overall weakness from not moving that much. So just keeping himself active as much as possible will be good for him as well.
Stay active.
Yeah.
Sounds
But
good.
really make sure that he's taking good breaks. You don't want to do too much too quickly. I would say, you know, if he is gonna want to do some walking, if you're out in the community, go a little bit and then take a break for a couple minutes, like 2 to 3.
How do I know if he's like getting too tired or just,
So you can hear him, he does breathe pretty audibly, you can hear that. So hopefully just the breathing exercises, making sure he's going in through his nose, out through his mouth. But if you notice he's like hunched forward and he's really breathing hard, can't have a conversation with you while he's walking, starts to get a little blue, just have him sit. That's the nice thing about the walker, is that he can do that whenever he needs to. And letting him know that it's okay that he needs a break. I know it's hard when you're used to doing things independently, but you are gonna have to help him just around the house, especially with the 2 kids, stuff like that, just while he's getting back to his, you know, regular function. Yeah,
sounds good.
all right.
Thank you.
Yay.